I'm Barbara, and I was born in London, but I grew up in Brisbane. And my family, I started off going to Presbyterian church because my dad was Presbyterian, but my mum was Anglican. But then I went to an Anglican church and an Anglican school. So I knew a lot of hymns, and I used to love the hymns to sing. And I think I was seeking God even at a young age, but I didn't know anything about God, anything about Jesus. I knew the basics, that he died on the cross, but it was, and risen from the dead, but it was all intellectual. So I didn't really know Jesus himself. And then I got confirmed, which I thought was a bit, I didn't really want to, because I like doing things because I believe in them and know what I'm doing. But I got confirmed anyway under pressure from my family and people at school. And then when I was 16, or just before that, a family moved in next door that had been missionaries to China and in Thailand. And they were Christians, and my dad had been at medical school with them. And their daughter was my age. So she invited me to a Scripture Union camp, which was held up in Cairns. So we got the old Sunlander, the Ratley Sunlander, all the way up to Cairns. And at that camp, I just saw some things in the people that was very different. They were loving, they were peaceful, they didn't have the same stresses and things I did. And I learned about Jesus for the first time. And the thing that really struck me was that in Romans it talks about all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And I guess I'd grown up about good works was important. And when I realised that I was a sinner too, and it wasn't just murderers or people that went to jail that were sinners, but everybody was a sinner. And it was that falling short of God's glory. So I wasn't meeting the expectations or requirements for God, which I was very upset about. So I remember sitting at the door of this carriage and waiting for at the last minute, just knowing that I couldn't go home without having made a decision and just ask God into my life. And the peace that came straight away, because there'd been a lot of turmoil growing up at home, a lot of anger, hostility, a whole range of things. And I didn't feel very worthwhile, always felt like I was incapable. And so that just changed everything, because I just felt the peace of God, the love of God. And then I started going to church and learning a lot more and really starting to understand some things. And then I went to, and God just led all the way through. Like, he opened a door for me to go to university in Canberra, which was, the whole thing was just a miracle, all very last minute. And got involved with a Christian group on campus. And that's when I really learned a lot, because I was among people that really loved God, and really we'd pray, we'd have a good fellowship together. And I had friends really for the first time in life. So I felt like I belonged and was part of a family, because that was a big thing for me, was just that lack of acceptance, lack of love and care. And yeah, so just life went on from there. Then I went overseas to England and then to America, learned a lot more, exposed to different churches, different people. And then, but coming to Holy Fire Ministry School has taken me right back to where I started, and it's just been just such a crucial part in my growing again. And I know I can see even in my relationship with my sister, I'm not the same now. Things don't bother me that they used to. I don't get so hurt and caught up in a mess. And I've just got a lot more assurance of being worthwhile and life being a lot more worth living. So I just thank God for all that he's done, because he's just led every step of the way.
Amen. Yeah. Well done.